welcome. Okay, so start by closing our eyes, partially or completely. Simply signaling that this journey is inward and just having in consideration that our eyesight is the most dominant sense. By keeping our eyes closed or partially open, we help dedicating more energy for observing within. Then, if necessary, we readjust the body posture. And the body posture has two basic principles: straightfulness and stillness. Straightfulness from a perspective of as long as we keep our back relatively straight, we support our breathing muscles. They can move freely. Also, the positioning of the head is just resting above the shoulders, trying not to lean our head too much forward. Again, to support the airways. And then stillness comes from relaxation, actually. And what do we mean by that? Is taking the body posture that is relaxing and comfortable enough allows us to stay still throughout the practice. And also allows us to focus on the practice without imposing any painful sensation from the posture we take. Now, while adjusting, we keep our attention on breathing, and we simply start by focusing on the inhaling breath throughout, and on the exhaling breath throughout. The way we focus on breathing is by focusing on breathing sensations. The way our body experiences the breathing. More so, the breathing sensations that can be experienced on physical level. So we can feel our abdomen movement, expanding on the inhaling breath, and deflating back towards the spine on the exhaling breath. We can also experience the movement in the upper chest. Again, expanding downwards and up, the inhaling breath. And deflating back towards the spine, the exhaling breath. we could experience breathing sensation in some so-called triangle areas, the two sides of the nostrils, and the area just above the upper lip. Every time air gets in contact with our skin, whether that is on the inside of the nostrils, at the entrance of the nostrils, or on the outside of the nostrils. Out of the contact, there are sensations on physical level that we can experience while observing the inhaling breath and while observing the exhaling breath. So far, we probably experience naturally something that we call mindfulness cycle. So we have experienced that while we were trying to stay focused on breathing sensations, we noticed that our mind shifts attention to something else or wanders off. And then we were trying to bring it back. The way we bring our mind back to breathing sensations in mindfulness practice as a simple instruction, letting go. So to stay focused on the breath, it's not so much a matter of working hard or really trying for our mind not to wander off, but rather noticing when it does wander off. Notice what is it that it took our attention away from breathing for a moment and letting go. So to stay focused on the breath, we need to let go. So once again, mindfulness cycle refers to intentionally placing attention on the breathing sensations, noticing when our mind naturally wanders off. Take a moment to understand what it is, but without furthering that thought, without furthering the experience, letting go and shifting attention back to breathing sensations. The research is saying to be happy, we need to stay in the present moment, more so referring that wandering mind is unhappy mind. And we do spend quite a lot of time witnessing our mind wandering. With mindfulness, we learn how to pay attention. So we can only pay attention in the present moment. But we can always decide, where do we place our attention? So placing our attention on breathing sensations, especially on the exhaling breath, could be very beneficial to our well-being. Our exhaling breath is related with the vagus nerve. And every time we focus on the exhaling breath more mindfully, more thoroughly, through the vagus nerve, we activate relaxation response in our body, or differently known as parasympathetical nervous system. The only thing we need to do is simply pay attention to the exhaling breath. We can do a little experiment right now, and we can breathe out just a little bit slower than usual and a little bit longer than usual. As soon as we notice that our mind has wandered off, that's okay. We take a brief note and we let go, bringing attention back to the exhaling breath. Breathing out just a little bit slower than usual and a little bit longer than usual. There is a feedback from the body. There is a sense of calmness. There is a sense of relaxation. There is a sense of releasing tensions with each exhaling breath. Through the mindfulness of breath, we are also learning that we can pay attention in the present moment without being pejorative towards the experience or the experiencer. Usually, when in the moment, somehow we believe that that moment will be much better if we remove something from it or we add something to it. But with mindfulness practice, we learn to focus on the present moment as it is, without trying to remove or add something to the present moment. We also learn that as we focus on the present moment as it is, we do have natural resources to stay in the present and relate to it calmly and with compassion. Calmly by using the relationship between the exhaling breath and the vagus nerve. So peacefully relating. And compassion comes from letting go. Letting go is the simplest act of compassion and self-compassion. Nothing to make sense from, nothing to figure out. Simply focusing on the present moment experience as it is. This simple shift from the wandering mind to focus on the breath actually shifts attention from one brain network to the other, from default mode network associated with worry to attentional network that are actually, through the research, found to be more associated with happiness. So simple practice, great benefits. Focusing attention on the breathing sensations, whether in our belly, upper chest, or triangle areas. Noticing when mind wanders off, and just gently, only with compassion, letting go, shifting attention back to breathing sensations. Yes, our mind will resist to this simplicity. It might sound too simple, but the science and the research is confirming that engaging in this simple mindfulness cycle is working. So when we notice that our mind is resisting, well, we simply roll without resistance, meaning we go back and forth between being focused on a breath and noticing when we are not, thousands of times if necessary. That is also part of the mindfulness practice. Mindfulness is the awareness that arises when we start paying attention intentionally on breathing sensations. So whether we are focused on a breath and we are aware of that, or we are not focused on a breath and we are aware of that, we are mindful, meaning we let go of all the reasons that question whether we are doing this practice right or wrong. And we treat those judgmental thoughts as distractions, letting them go and shifting attention back, breathing sensations, breathing in, knowing that we are breathing in, breathing out, knowing that we are breathing out. And now, as we hear the go and slowly allow ourselves to move. If you feel the need to stretch the upper body, and open eyes when ready.